Today I'm happy to share with you my very first Real Media sketch and watercolor brush pack exclusively for Procreate called Flower Tools Brush Box. And this brush pack has a twist. It's been specifically designed with flowers in mind. Of course, you can paint whatever you like with these watercolor brushes, but the pack has an added bonus of guides and tutorials to help you draw flowers better. I've made a link for you in the description below where you can go and find more information on these brushes. And in this video, I'll show you another example of how to use this brush pack. We'll be drawing a rose in a back-facing position, and we'll be using the flower grid builder and the watercolor brushes, and I'll show you from start to finish how to get the max out of this brush box. And now we're all ready to go. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. You've got your brush pack and you have a zip file. So what do you do next? You click on it. So either you have an email or you're on a web page and you have a link. So you're going to just click on the link and it's going to open up Safari or Chrome. Chrome is actually highly recommended. I'm using Safari today, but I do recommend Chrome if you're having any issues. So then you're just going to tap download, and that's going to automatically download here. So it'll take a few minutes, but it will eventually appear in your downloads folder. Okay, so once it's done, you can either click on that and click here, and it'll open up your files, or if you're looking for your files, you'll see this little symbol, little folder file. You can just click on that. It should open up to downloads, but if not, just navigate on the side. You may have to open up this by touching that little window box there, and it'll say downloads, and you'll see Flower Tools Zip. So you're just going to tap on that, and it will start downloading and unzipping, and here you have a folder. So you're going to tap on that and you'll have a few things to look at. You'll have video tutorials here and a little message from me, and you'll have the brushes, the canvas, and the guides. So what I'm going to do first actually is just go into the canvas, and I'm going to click on that. It may or may not have this picture, it just always does for me. I'm just going to tap on that and it'll open it up. So just swipe up from the lower edge of your screen here and then go back to your files. I'm going to go back and get the brushes. So I'm just going to tap on the flower grid builder. So tap on that and it will just automatically import for you. Nothing special, nothing happens. So you're kind of wondering where they are. So you're going to just tap on the brushes and you're going to go up to the top and you'll see they're there. They always import at the top. I have a few copies here, so don't mind me, but they'll import to the top of the list. Let's go back again and just swipe up to clear that and go back to our files and just tap on the brushes, the other set, and again you go up to the top and you'll see Flower Tools. So you have the grids here and then you'll have all the brushes, all the watercolor brushes. So I'm just going to go into my brushes and find my flower grid builder. It'll be PLL for Pretty Little Lines Flower Grid Builder. And you can see here you have cup and bell, shape, saucer, and trumpet. So those are sort of the four main flower shapes that a lot of flowers come in. And they're all in convex or concave and all at various degrees, just rotating. So today I'm going to use the cup convex -15. So I'm going to have it at about 100%. And I'm just going to tap on my layer here. And I'm going to just rotate it using my arrow into the direction that I want. I kind of want it like that. I'm just going to zoom out here a little bit. About like that. Maybe we don't need quite so much of an angle. So there we go. Okay, so you can see I have a lot of sort of blotches and stuff like that. That's because of the canvas. So I have a bunch of extra paint effects that I'm going to turn off. You can see that changes it. But I'm actually going to turn off the canvas altogether just while we're sketching, so you can see this maybe a little bit more clearly. All right, so then I'm going to add a new layer. Actually, this is a fairly simple flower as far as the grid building is going, because we're just going to use one. And that's just to understand the tilt forward. So I'm going to hit the plus sign, and I'm just going to take, by clicking the N, I'm just going to take this opacity down a little bit, maybe to about 25%, whatever you're comfortable with. Back into the brushes and grab those flower tools. And here you'll see, I believe there's 12 sketch and ink brushes, 12 watercolor brushes, or maybe there's 15, and 12 splatter and splotch sort of stamp brushes. So I think that's a pretty good collection for you to be able to do anything you need. I'm just gonna use my favorite sketch, of course, just for our first sketch. And I have it at about, let's say 50%. Not super important for our sketch, but that's all right. Okay, so I'm going to just decide where things are going. So I'm going to use this circle here, oops, this circle here as the center point of where our stem is going to come out of. So it's just going to be, I'm just going to have a little curve, use that as sort of the guide to where our stem is. Okay, so that's good, and that's going to have a rounded edge. All right, so now we know where that is. So we know that some sort of petals, or the petals are going to come from here, from this base, and they're just going to all overlap. This is I guess sort of more of a wild rose kind of look. So I'm just going to have these petals following these lines, just using them as general guides. You don't have to have them exactly on the line, of course, just understand the direction from there. Maybe that will be curving around a bit. Again, this is just our sketch. We'll be painting, we'll be using it anyway. Have some layers there. Okay, maybe this one will go here. This one would be, maybe it'll fold over a little bit here, like so. Again, just using this guide to help me know where I am. All right, maybe there'll be a little bit one on here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna have a few petals, or sorry, a few leaves, coming around here, a little nugget there. And this stem is going to have some sort of petals coming off here, just erasing what I had there so I can see that type of thing. Actually, maybe I'll make those a little bit bigger. That seems a little bit small. Might just be like a little bit nubbly. And let's have some leaves that are kind of coming here. Something like that. And we'll have a little leaf up there. Okay, just rough. Okay, so we can turn our guide there off, and we can see that it looks like it's tilting away from us. I'm just gonna erase this in here so you know what's going on. It's a little bit clearer. Great. Okay, so our sketch is ready, and that's really all we need for this. We don't need anything too fancy because we're going to be painting over. All right, so let's take this, click on that N, and turn the opacity down a little bit to maybe about 15%, just so you can still see it. All right, then I'm gonna create a new layer, and every petal that I make is gonna be on a new layer. And that's so that we get a kind of interesting layered effect, as well as we're gonna be able to do some cool clipping mask stuff over top. So I'm gonna go and find my, where is it? My rough edge, my watercolor rough edge. I'm going to start with the petal in front, just using this peach color. We might change the colors as we go, but I'm just gonna start with this, holding my brush in the entire time. I have it at about 5%, and you can keep these little white marks here if you'd like. Sometimes that gives it a nice watercolor effect. Back into the layers, add a new layer, and bring it below. So I want this one, the one that's most in the forefront, at the top of the layer pile. And then we're just gonna go color this in, and completing that all the way around. So just make up where that line would be, even though normally we wouldn't see it, but again, we want this layer kind of effect. Bring the layer below, oops, made a group. Bring it below. And just fill that all in. New layer below. And we'll keep going and doing this for every single petal here. Keeps going in this group. And then I'm just going to color in these little ones by themselves, just where it's overlapping. I missed one over there too. And one more just for this little guy at the top here. All right, so now we have lots of layers. So let's go back to our first layer here. Click on that, and we're going to add a clipping mask just by tapping on it and saying clipping mask. So then let's go and get something a little darker, maybe something a little warmer. I might adjust this palette. And I'm going to say let's just start with our soft bloom here and just rub on the edges just a touch. I'm just going to bring my brush up to about 20%. I'm just going to rub the edges a little bit, if you can see this. And that just gives it that dried paint look. And you can just be really soft about it. Just, again, it's very pressure sensitive. So just kind of have a play with it. It's going to be really soft first, and then we'll build up as we go. I'm just putting some lines in just to maybe kind of have that petally look. Looks good. Maybe I'll adjust the color a little bit, a little deeper. Maybe you get these watercolor wet edges. Let's see what happens there. That's kind of neat. Maybe I'll bring the opacity, just play with that a little bit. Just dabbing that on a touch. Nice. Okay. On to the next petal. Same thing, plus sign, make it a clipping mask. Let's just go back to that peach color we had before, back to the soft bloom, and find out where this is. So just same thing, just kind of rub those edges. More in some places, less in others. And do it all the way through again so we kind of have this cool translucent look. Kind of add a few lines through, just make it look like that. That's kind of neat. Next, we can go and do that darker color too. Grab this watercolor wet edge. We can try the soft edge too. Just play around. There's no major rules here. Maybe that's a little bit too aggressive for this so far. We're going a little bit softer at the beginning. It's turning the opacity down. Okay, that's probably good. Great. Next petal, plus sign, clipping mask. we'll be on repeat doing this for a little bit, so you'll get the hang of it real quick. Should probably find out where this is. There it is, over here. Okay. Kind of playing with it back to this deeper color. Let's do the wet edges again. We just kind of alternate with that. Just give it more of a painted look. Oh, we haven't even turned our canvas on. Hang on one second. All right, we go to our canvas and turn on some watercolor paper so it actually looks like watercolor. But you can see already without the canvas they already do look like paint. It just gives it that extra bit of texture with the canvas. So, and we can make this some more cool canvas effects in a little bit too, in a little later. Okay, so back to this petal over here. Plus sign, clipping mask, back to the bloom. Really good. You can just play with your size a little bit. Good. Next petal, clipping mask, back to the lighter orange, back to the soft bloom, if we can get it. Check what one this is. Okay, good. I'm always making it a little bit more darker at the base. It's probably good for that one. Next petal, over here, clipping mask. This one I'm going to bring in the wet edge soft, maybe like that. Clipping mask. Oh, just this little nugget at the side here. Maybe we'll stay with that color, see what happens. Soft bloom. That's nice. Just get that little edge there. No problem. All right, on to this guy. Another clipping mask. We are on repeat. Maybe I'll just bring some more of those lines in again. Okay, here we go. We are almost there. Clipping mask, same thing. Oops, which one are we on? There we go. Okay. Cool. There we are on the back. There. I love this layered look. I think it looks really neat and relatively easy to attain too, so that's nice. Okay, these little bits. Good. Maybe that'll be darker in there, you know, to give that depth. Maybe I'll bring in this little pop too. Great. And the last one. Go back to this color here. Nice. Okay, guys, a lot of layers, but I think that looks great. So it's relatively simple to do to create that really watercolory look. So let's just add a few more touches, maybe really amplify some things. Let's go back to our original one at the very top. Let's go really quite a bit darker. I'm going to, let's see, I think I'm gonna see about the, sorry, let you know what it is, the watercolor round texture. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go and create, let's see if I create a new layer. I'm not gonna do this everywhere. We have too many layers, but let's just see. Maybe I'll bring in the wet edges again and change this to, let's see if it's the color burn. Let's change this layer to color burn. Just gonna get a few more. It might be a little bit too bold. Let's see. Just a few pops. How about this guy behind here? We'll do the same thing too. Clipping mask, another one on top of that. And we're going to change it to color burn. Okay. And maybe this guy. All right. And this might be the last one. Clipping mask, color burn. Okay. Just kind of getting a few different things there. Might want to turn those opacities down on some of those. Might just be a little touch aggressive. Let's see. Okay. Cool. So now we can go and make some splotches and whatnot. We'll probably need to consolidate some of these layers, I would imagine. So we can just pinch those together, these guys together, leaving out those new color burn ones. All right, let's go and do our petals and whatnot. So I'm just gonna get sort of a dark browny burgundy color. I guess that actually what we had might work for now. I'm going to continue on with my rough edge, my watercolor rough edge. And let's see, maybe I'll be on the layer below. I'm just gonna hit on that group that I accidentally made. And let's just have that, and I have my brush, and I'm at about 6%. Okay, so I'm gonna just, maybe I need a little bit smaller, maybe about 4%. I'm gonna bring these in here. Gonna leave some little white marks here and there, sort of in the center. Great. Oops. Try it again. Sort of leaving that white where the line kind of would be center of that. I'm actually gonna add one here. I had one here before my original sketch. It's kind of a funny one. Never mind. Try it again. Okay. All right, I'm gonna just turn off my sketch layer now so I can kind of see. Then I'm gonna go and grab my little favorite sketch. It's great for little details and stuff. So I'm just gonna bring the line work in here just really lightly for these little bits. And I can do a little bit of detail, but it depends how much I want. I don't want too much, just a little bit here. Just kind of connecting those. Okay, so let's have a little work on those. You guessed it, clipping mask. Uh-oh, ran out of layers. I'm just gonna delete my my original flower grid here because we won't need that anymore. So just gonna tap on this, say clipping mask, and I'm gonna bring it a little bit darker. And I think I'm gonna just stick with the brushes I have been using. So I'm gonna use that soft bloom. Really get in there and make that darker there. Basically where it meets the flower. Really push that. Might need this a little bit warmer. Might bring about some red in here. Let's see. Just dotting some through there, warming it up. Some areas. And then I'm gonna go and, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do the splatter stuff in a bit. I wanna show you how to use some blobs and stuff like that. Actually, just gonna merge some of these layers together just by pinching them. Just so I can get a few more layers here. All right, and I'm gonna go to our original petal, hit that plus sign. I'm gonna be on that peachy color, and then go in and grab, maybe, let's try this one, splotch 3, tap that, you can see it comes up there and it'll just stay contained to this. Maybe you want it like that. Click on the N and let's just play a little bit with the different modes. Maybe multiply would be nice. And I'm just going to bring back that opacity. Maybe I want it more like that. That's nice. Again, I'm going to merge it just because I'm running out of space here. Oops. There we go. Just try to get the one. Gonna go here, merge these guys. And let's see, maybe this petal here. I just kind of want to do it where I can see it. Grab a different splotch, maybe blob 1. You just want to make sure they're on separate layers so that you can move them and whatnot. It's the important part. Okay, again, let's set that to multiply. Bring the opacity down just so it's not too bold. Unless that's what you want, by all means go for it. But for this one, it's fairly soft. I'm just trying to find this one in the back here. Where did he go? There he is. Okay, hit the plus sign, clipping mask. Let's go grab something different, blob 2. There he is. Just move him around so we get what we want here. Maybe like that. Set to multiply and bring that opacity down a little bit. So you can keep going with that as long as you like, but that's sort of a good overview of how to use blobs and stuff. Okay, so I think it's looking pretty nice. If we want to change and do some extra stuff, what I would do, if you want to have a little bit of a play at this point, I often, you don't have to, but I would often go back to my gallery, duplicate this by sliding to the left. And so I always have my layers and ready to go on that, but this one I can come and just select everything, all this stuff. Might just do the petals and the leaves still separately. And let's see, I'm just gonna group it and flatten it just so that's all on one layer. Gonna merge these two together. Okay, so I just have my leaves and my flowers up here. So I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna hit the plus sign, clipping mask. And again, you can do this on every individual petal, but for time's sake, I'm just gonna do this on one. I'm gonna go to the white. I'm gonna grab my scatter splatter and just give it a little that, and I can just pick different ones. Depends what you want to do, what kind of look you want to have, you know. I can make this darker, kind of add that look. Just you kind of can experiment, and that's kind of fun just to make those little painty kind of looks. Same with on here. I'm going to just add the plus sign, clipping mask, maybe some of these ones, maybe some darker ones. You know, I can do blobs on here too, but it's the same principle. I'm pretty sure you've got it. All right, I think that's it for today. So if you are interested in finding out more about these brushes, there is a link in the description below. It'll show you all about it. And if you did like this video, I'd love a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can be notified of new tutorials just like this one in the future. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.